Hey there, what's going on? In this lecture, you're going to learn by doing using factual questions. First of all, let's go to vocabulary. 1. Bother. Bother. This is a verb. Bother means to disturb or interrupt someone. For example, don't bother your father when he's working. I'm sorry to bother you, but could you help me lift this suitcase? 2. Complaint. Complaint. Noun. A spoken or written statement expressing dissatisfaction with a product or service. For example, the customer service department deals with all complaints. Do you have any grounds for complaint? That means, do you have any reason to formally complain? 3. Notice. Notice. Noun. A sign displayed publicly, giving information to a group of people. For example, have you seen the notice about the ship? The notice asks people not to smoke in the kitchen area. Now let's have a role-play game. You need two people, student A and student B. Student A, you are Carson. You just received a fax from the director of your company. Unfortunately, your fax machine is broken and some of the words are unclear. Your task is to work with your partner, student B, and write down the questions you will ask him or her. Call him or her up, apologize for the problem, and ask the questions to get the information you need. Student B, you are Barton Donovan, the director of Cymax Watches America. You just sent a fax to your New York office. You will get a call from Mr. Carson, student A, as there are some parts of the fax he cannot read. Your task is to take Mr. Carson's call and answer any questions he may have. This is the content of the fax which student A, Mr. Carson, just received from the director of your company, Mr. Barton Donovan. Some of the words are unclear. Therefore, you need to call student B, Mr. Barton Donovan, and ask the questions to get the information you need. Here is the content of the fax which student B, Mr. Barton Donovan, sent to the New York office. You will take a call from student A, Mr. Carson, and answer any questions he may have. You can pause the video temporarily and take as much time as you want to complete the role-play game together. For student A, if you don't know how to start and end a phone call, don't worry, I'm here to support you. You can start by saying, I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Donovan, but I'm afraid we couldn't read your fax properly. To close your call, you may say, thanks very much. That's all the information I need. I will take care of this right away. Those are the opening and closing statements which student A can use in a phone call. However, please don't forget why you want to make such a phone call. You need some information from the director, Mr. Barton Donovan, including 1. Arriving date. 2. Landing time. 3. Main purpose. 4. Discussion. And 5. Who. Now I would like to teach you how to ask the questions to get the information you need. Here are some possible questions. To ask for the arriving date, you may say, "What date are you arriving?" "What date will you be arriving?" "When are you arriving?" Or, "When will you be arriving?" Similarly, to ask for the landing time, you would say, "What time is your plane landing?" "What time is your plane scheduled to land?" Or, "What time is the flight arriving?" For the main purpose, you can ask, "What's the main purpose of your visit?" To get to know what the discussion is about, you would say, "What is the main problem, issue to discuss in the meeting?" Or, "What will we discuss?" Finally, about who, you may ask, "Who else do you want to invite to the meeting?" I've just shown you, student A, how to ask the questions to get the information you need. Next, I would like to support student B to answer those questions properly. Questions. 1. What date will you be arriving? Answer. I will be arriving on Tuesday, August the 13th. 2. What time is your plane landing? My plane is scheduled to land at 9:15 p.m. 3. What's the main purpose of your visit? The main purpose of my visit is the problem with our Acheron line of watches. 4. What is the main problem, issue to discuss in the meeting? We have had many complaints about water damage. We must discuss how we can deal with the problem. 5. Who else do you want to invite to the meeting? Please invite Paul Smith and Mary Davis also. If you want more practice, you can write down one of the questions you asked Mr. Donovan and then make up your own answer and 2 other Part 2 type distractors to test other students. This is the end of Listening Test Part 2, Question Response. In the next lecture, we're going to move on to Listening Test Part 3, Conversations. See you soon!